Good morning. It's July 31st, and it's time to make another batch of jerky. And you're saying Albert, but that's not um, a roast or a steak. Well, it's ground beef. And if you've seen my panko uh, cheeseburger video, you know that this has liver and heart ground in it. And it is, we bought half a steer, and I will link above here to that video. But yeah, so I watched a Dr. Shawn Baker video that he talks about making carnivore crack, and I tried it, but figured I have literally boxes of this ground beef, and um, I like hamburgers and I like making things with ground beef, but I also thought, well, why can't I just season this the way I want it and put it in a baking sheet and then just put it in make it in little rectangular pieces and dehydrate it. Well, I've done that. I'm going to show you the process. So I'm going to empty all of these into a bowl and I'll start seasoning it. Well, so I follow a low carb diet, and I'm not averse to vegetables per se. So I'm going to spice this with garlic, onion, and black pepper, along with salt. And I find that gives it a really good taste profile. You can uh, season this however you would like. And so what I'll probably do is measure out a tablespoon of each of onion and garlic, and we'll get started there. So there's the tablespoon of garlic, granulated garlic, and granulated onion. I'm going to start with a teaspoon of salt, and you can use any kind you want to do this, um, and probably a half a teaspoon of black pepper. Okay, so I've added a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, and this is, if you didn't notice, there was 4 packages of ground beef, 1 pound each. So this is 4 pounds, and I'm going to start kneading that all the ingredients together. So this is what I do. That's about a $1/2 size, and it's about 1/4 inch thick. And I just cook it up kind of on the rare side, and then I test it and taste it. If it tastes good, then I go right straight to the next step. Again, this is a purely individual process, so you can flavor and do this iteration as many times as you see fit. So I pressed it out with my hands at first, and to get it in a general um, flattened state. And then I went along with the spatula to get it to a more uniform thickness of about 1/4 inch. I'm guessing that's like 6 millimeters or 7, something to that effect. I'll show you what that looks like. And what I'd like to cut this with is a metal spatula, and this is about 1.25 inches wide, maybe 1.5 inches. So that would be 35 or so millimeters, 3.5 centimeters in width. So I just score it like this down through, and then cut the appropriate size pieces. So I'll show you what that looks like when I put it on the dehydrating plates. Progressing along nicely. And I still have that much ground beef. Have a look at that color of that. I'm not sure if you've watched my panko cheeseburger video, but this beef is over a year old. Took it out of the freezer today. The steer was delivered in February of 2023. So this is some incredibly delicious and very presentable, nutritious food. On to the third tray. Almost finished. All right, so 4 pounds got 5 mostly filled trays. And I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but I started the dehydrator a few minutes ago, so it's nice and warm when I got to this point. So I'll go load it now. So this is a 10 tray deluxe from Cabela's, and it works pretty good. The only thing we've tried to use with it is doing jerky. Before I put this in here, I want to just stress that when you're doing this, I think that'd be regardless of whatever, if you did it with ground beef or any slices of beef, you want to make sure that they're all of uniform size, thickness, that is. I did a quick check on the timestamps, and it took me about an hour and 25 minutes to mix it, taste it, and get it formed and put it in the dehydrator. So that's an hour and a half, we'll call it. And we're about 4 hours into this, and you can see how those are nice, getting nice and browned up. And what's really interesting about doing it with ground beef like this, when you if you store it in the refrigerator after you have made it, the little specks of fat show up. So those glistening spots there of liquid fat, beef fat, will be white. So, and I'll show you that. These have been out here for 10 hours and they're looking really good. I just tried one, and I think that's going to be perfect. And once they're cooled, I will put them in the fridge and I'll show you what they look like in the refrigerator, so you'll know what to expect when you see it. And just to show you the final process and some closing thoughts about doing jerky this way. So whenever I put it in a Ziploc bag, I like to date it, so I know when I make it. Very rarely do I have more than one batch going, so that's really not applicable, but I do that just in case. And when I was showing you in the dehydrator, the glistening fat areas, this is what it looks like after it's been in the fridge. And there's one notable right over here. I don't want to touch it, but you can see that that is fat. That is not um, anything abnormal. So if you do refrigerate it, please be aware that that's going to appear in a very short period of time. The last couple things I'd like to discuss is the pros and cons of doing this. I find ground beef to be far less expensive than whole cuts of meat. You can get whatever grade of fat content you want. So you can do 70, 80, 90%, the more lean you, um, or the more fatty, whichever way you want to go. And it is a little bit more time consuming. It took me about an hour and a half to form out 4 pounds of ground beef. Um, so there's that. Slicing your whole cuts of beef, unless you're doing it semi frozen, it's not that easy either. I've tried that. So um, I I think overall, for us, it's more beneficial because we have so much ground beef from the steer. But that's purely up to you. I enjoy it both ways. And I guess the last thing that would be when you bite into a piece of this ground beef jerky, there isn't that um, tissue thing that you get in your teeth and stuff. So um, I hope you like this video, and please feel free to try it. If you do, try it, or you want to leave me a comment, please do. I really appreciate that. It means that people are watching and enjoying the content.